see, there's no artist, let me be clear, there's no artist in this industry that's doing major numbers with these platforms that haven't said this.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's a lot of things. She's spectacular.
Yes.
And congratulations on New Mama.
Yes.
The air is thick with tension. The kind of drama that only arises when titans collide, secrets unravel, and alliances crumble. Rihanna, the trailblazing mobile and musical icon, has sent shock waves through the entertainment world. Not with a chart-topping single this time, but with allegations so explosive they've left whispers cascading through the corridors of power. It seems the gloves are off as Rihanna, once a self-proclaimed admirer of Beyonce, has allegedly decided to expose what she claims are the sinister underpinnings of the power couple Beyonce and JayZ alongside their close associate Diddy.
Beyonce and JayZ will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them.
We have to ask ourselves, how did we get here? How did Rihanna, who once gushed about Beyonce being her inspiration, evolve into a whistleblower calling out the very people who helped shape her early career? This isn't just a feud. It's a saga. A scandal of epic proportions that stretches from private boardrooms to star-studded parties with accusations that could shatter reputations, but began perhaps with admiration. Rihanna, a young girl from Barbados, signed to JayZ's Rockefeller record at just 17 as she stepped into the industry. She was understandably starstruck by Beyonce, the reigning queen of music, who had already carved an untouchable legacy for herself. Rihanna once referred to Beyonce as her biggest inspiration, even keeping a heartfelt letter from her as a memento of their early interactions. But over time the admiration reportedly soured. Insiders whisper that as Rihanna's star rose, the dynamic shifted. The tension between the two women, often attributed to jealousy or professional rivalry, now appears to have deeper, darker roots. If Rihanna's recent claims are anything to go by, here's where it gets jaw-dropping. Rihanna has allegedly revealed that her experiences behind the scenes were anything but glamorous. According to her, JayZ wasn't just a mentor. He made advances toward her during her teenage years, even reportedly locking her in his office until she agreed to sign her contract. It's a chilling claim that paints a very different picture of the mogul.
That's part of the indictment. That's someone like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak off. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, yo, listen here, you did it once and you're gonna do it again. That ain't gonna make it with the government or nobody.
Now let's pause for a moment. Freak-offs is a term that has surfaced in hushed tones before, referring to private gatherings allegedly hosted by Diddy where the boundaries of morality and decency are said to blur. And if Rihanna's account is true, Beyonce wasn't just complicit, she was an active participant. Rihanna reportedly confided in Beyonce during this time, expecting solidarity, only to discover that Beyonce allegedly had her own motives. She wasn't a girl's girl. Rihanna is said to have remarked a heartbroken realization for someone who once idolized her, but it doesn't stop there. The infamous cheesecake incident has taken on a new sinister light following recent revelations. Freddie P., a former member of Diddy's band from his MTV reality show, dropped a bombshell that left fans reeling. Remember when Diddy humiliated his band members by making them walk hours for a cheesecake? Turns out that cheesecake wasn't even for Diddy. It was for Beyonce. Yes, she was reportedly upstairs at the time enjoying the spoils of their ordeal. Freddie P. didn't hold back admitting that this was one of the first signs of Diddy's disturbing behavior, but the fact that Beyonce allegedly indulged in this moment of humiliation raises questions about her own involvement in what Rihanna describes as a toxic circle of power.
When you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder.
And then there's the story of the baby. Another jaw-dropping account comes from the rapper DaBaby, who allegedly attended one of Diddy's infamous parties only to find himself in the company of JayZ, Beyonce and Diddy during a private meeting where Beyonce reportedly tried to seduce him. This claim, though unverified, adds another layer to the allegations swirling around her participation in the so-called freak-offs. Could these whispers explain why Beyonce and Diddy's connection has always seemed oddly cozy despite their professional ties not being overt?
As far as Is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he has to, he won't get out until 70 years old. He's about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
As if this weren't enough, Rihanna's allegations have also connected Beyonce and JayZ's alleged actions to her own career struggles. Insiders speculate that when Rihanna refused to participate in these parties, she faced retaliation. Her critically acclaimed album Anti was inexplicably leaked on Tidal, the music platform owned by, wait for it, JayZ. The Sabotage forced Rihanna to rush the album's release, potentially undermining its commercial success. Meanwhile, Beyonce's Lemonade received the lion's share of promotion, fueling theories that the leak wasn't just an accident but a calculated move to derail Rihanna's momentum.
We love y'all, we love y'all. We want y'all to get it right, at least get it close to right. And obviously it's subjective. Y'all don't gotta clap at everything.
And if you think the feud stayed behind closed doors, think again. Beyonce's controversial track Bow Down was seen by many as a direct shot at Rihanna, with its aggressive lyrics calling for others to bow down to her dominance. Rihanna never wanted to back down from a challenge and fired back on social media, subtly shading Beyonce with posts that crowned herself as the queen of pop and questioned Beyonce's authenticity. The tension boiled over in public during the Tidal press conference, where the two women reportedly avoided each other entirely. Sources close to the event described the atmosphere as carefully choreographed, with handlers ensuring that the divas had minimal interaction.
Responsibility for what he did as an individual. Sean is the one who pulled that gun out. Sean is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that. He put that gun back in his...
632. What's most shocking is how the public is reacting to these revelations. Rihanna is now a billionaire thanks to her wildly successful The Fenty empire no longer needs the music industry to define her. Her willingness to speak out even at the risk of alienating powerful figures like Beyonce and JayZ has earned her widespread support. Fans are rallying behind her, dissecting every lyric, every interview, and every subtle jab exchanged over the years. The hashtags #TeamRihanna and #ExposeTheTruth are trending as people demand accountability from the music industry's biggest names. Still, one question looms. What happens next? Will Rihanna's claims lead to a deeper reckoning within the industry, or will the power and influence of Beyonce, JayZ, and Diddy shield them from the fallout? For now, all we can do is watch as this dramatic saga unfolds with its twists, turns, and shocking reveals, pulling us deeper into a story that feels ripped straight out of a Hollywood thriller. Stay tuned because this scandal is far from over. I know so much about how you got where you are and how you stepped on many people. And yet as the dust settles on Rihanna's shocking revelations, the story takes an even darker turn. What happens when defiance meets power, when someone as influential as Rihanna refuses to play the game? We're diving deeper into the fallout, and it's nothing short of jaw-dropping. The consequences of Rihanna's refusal to partake in alleged freak-offs didn't just stop at betrayal and disappointment. Now what unfolded next paints a chilling picture of career sabotage, hidden agendas, and a world where loyalty means nothing when control is at stake. Having his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange you Havito ask. The fans ain't stepping in and doing anything. Hing. The fans don't see you getting your whoop. The moment Rihanna turned her back on these alleged demands, insiders claim the power couple Beyonce and JayZ began to conspire against her. The most glaring example of this is the sabotage of her anti-album Let's Rewind to 2016. Rihanna was riding high, ready to release what was arguably one of her most anticipated projects, but just as the buzz was building, disaster struck. The album leaked on Tidal, the very platform owned by JayZ. Coincidence? That's the question we're all asking. Some industry whisperers suggest this was no accident but rather a calculated move to derail Rihanna's momentum. And the timing couldn't have been more suspicious. While Rihanna scrambled to recover from the leak, Beyoncé's Lemonade was poised to dominate. The promotional machine behind Beyoncé's album roared to life, overshadowing Anti in every way. In its first week, Lemonade sold over 600,000 copies, while Rihanna's album, though critically acclaimed, lagged behind with just over 100,000. I hear that you're, a big fan of Beyonce. But it wasn't just about sales. The emotional toll this must have taken on Rihanna is staggering. Imagine pouring your heart and soul into a project only to see it undermined by people you once admired. And yet Rihanna didn't back down. She fought back with grace, letting her artistry speak for itself. Auntie went on to become a cultural phenomenon, with hits like Work and Needed Me dominating the charts. Still, the scars of that alleged betrayal lingered, and fans couldn't help but notice that Rihanna seemed hesitant to return to music. Could this be why she pivoted so heavily into her Fenty empire? Was it a way to reclaim her autonomy and distance herself from the toxic power plays of the music industry? And let's not forget the infamous Bow Down incident. Beyoncé's aggressive anthem, which demanded others bow to her, was seen by many as a direct jab at Rihanna at the time. The Beehive rallied behind their queen, but Rihanna's fans were quick to dissect the lyrics, pointing out the hypocrisy of preaching female empowerment while tearing down another woman. Rihanna's response was as sharp as it was subtle. She shared a post crowning herself the Queen of Pop and captioned it with a sly dig. "How'd that feel down there on your knees?" It was a mic drop moment, and the world took notice. The feud had spilled out into the open, and there was no going back. And I also want to thank all of the talented R&B women that came before me, like Lauryn Hill. She was hot as fish grease. But the tension didn't stop there. Fast forward to the title press conference. This should have been a celebration of music's biggest stars coming together for a common cause. Instead, it turned into a spectacle of awkwardness and icy stares. Sources who were backstage at the event described a scene that was carefully choreographed to keep Beyoncé and Rihanna apart. They refused to stand next to each other or even speak, one insider revealed. And it was a stark contrast to the glossy united front they presented to the cameras. The cracks in their relationship were undeniable, and fans couldn't help but wonder what was really going on behind the scenes. Public reactions to the feud have been equally divided. On one hand, Beyoncé's loyal fan base has stood by her, dismissing Rihanna's claims as baseless. On the other, Rihanna's navy has rallied around her, pointing to her track record of authenticity and resilience. And then there are those who see this as a broader commentary on power dynamics in the entertainment industry. How many other artists have been silenced or sabotaged for refusing to play along? Rihanna's story has opened the floodgates, and the conversations it sparked are long overdue. Genius. Beyoncé is gorgeous. A stab to my self-esteem. But Rihanna isn't the only artist who's allegedly felt the weight of JayZ and Beyoncé's influence. Insiders have whispered for years that other rising stars have seen their careers mysteriously stall after falling out of favor with the power couple. One name that keeps coming up is Tan-Ash, the talented singer-songwriter who many believed was poised to dominate the charts. According to industry chatter, Tan's trajectory changed after an alleged dispute with Roc Nation insiders. While no direct connection has been made, fans have speculated that her career was quietly blacklisted, much like Rihanna claims to have experienced. Is it possible that Beyoncé and JayZ's reach extends far beyond the public eye, shaping the industry in ways we may never fully understand? This morning, rap mogul JayZ is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include JayZ. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men. And what about the subtle jabs Beyoncé has faced from other artists over the years? Take Carrie Hilson, for example, whose infamous diss track Turning Me On included lyrics that many interpreted as a direct attack on Beyoncé. Though Hilson later denied the song was about her, the backlash was swift and brutal. Fans have long wondered if the blacklisting of Hilson's career, which faded after a promising start, was more than just a coincidence. It's hard not to draw parallels between these stories, especially when figures as powerful as Beyoncé and JayZ are involved. Could Rihanna's bravery in speaking out encourage others to come forward with their own experiences? And those threats are huge ones, and you know what I mean, you don't feel like you have a choice. And then there's the question of the title itself. JayZ's streaming platform, which played a central role in Rihanna's anti-album leak. Some have pointed out that Tidal has a history of controversy, including accusations of inflating Beyonce's streaming numbers for Lemonade and West's The Life of Pablo. These claims have never been fully substantiated, but they add to the perception of a platform shrouded in secrecy. Beyonce fans have questioned why the leak of Anti wasn't addressed more aggressively by Tidal or Roc Nation. Was it simply a technical mishap or part of a larger pattern of prioritizing certain artists over others? The lack of transparency has only fueled speculation, leading fans to connect the dots on their own. And yet the most compelling chapter of this saga might be the one that played out in the public eye without many of us even realizing it. The press conference, the whispers, the body language, the tension, it was all there for those willing to see it. One particularly telling moment occurred when the two women were supposed to pose together for a group photo. Rihanna, always the picture of poise, kept her distance, while Beyonce's smile seemed more forced than genuine. The photos that emerge from that night tell a story of their own. One of fractured relationships and unspoken grievances.
Your husband, JayZ, had a lot to do with Rihanna's early career. Back in February, he said he thought everyone should support her in that mess with Chris Brown.
But where do we go from here as the industry reels from these revelations? We're left with more questions than answers. Will Beyonce and JayZ address the allegations head-on, or will they continue to let their silence speak volumes? And what about Diddy, whose name has been inextricably linked to these rumors? His infamous parties have long been the subject of speculation, but Rihanna's claims have brought them under newfound scrutiny. Could this be the beginning of a larger reckoning for the entertainment industry? Rihanna, for her part, seems unbothered. She's built an empire that extends far beyond music, proving that she doesn't need anyone's approval to thrive. But even as she conquers the worlds of fashion and beauty, her fans are waiting, hoping for her return to the studio. And maybe, just maybe, her next project will address these controversies head-on. After all, Rihanna has never been one to shy away from speaking her truth.
Obviously it's subjective because, it's music and it's opinion-based. But, some things...
As we wrap up this story, we have to wonder what's next for these iconic figures. Will Rihanna's courage inspire others to come forward, or will the industry close ranks to protect its own? One thing's for sure, this saga is far from over. The layers of this story are as complex as the people involved, and the truth has a way of coming out no matter how deeply it's buried. So tell us, what do you think? Are we witnessing the unraveling of one of music's most powerful alliances, or is this just another chapter in the ongoing drama of celebrity life? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to stay tuned for more updates as this explosive story continues to unfold.